Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the confirmed CCIV and Lucid Motors merger date. I'm also going to be talking about how the CCIV shares will be exchanged into LCID shares. I'm then going to be debunking a few myths around the CCIV stock, and finally talking about the potential for a CCIV short squeeze and whether it could really happen. But before we dive into the video, if you guys are new to the channel or you've seen some of my videos before, but you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell. But for now, stay tuned and let's make some money. Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, this article suggests that Lucid Motors and CCIV may consummate their merger agreement by the 23rd of July as per the latest filing. If we go to that latest filing filed at the SEC or filed with the SEC, it says to assume a closing date of July the 23rd, 2021. However, this filing is a little bit confusing because it says that there's an exchange ratio of approximately 2.595 shares of CCIV to be issued for each outstanding Lucid common share. So what does that really mean? Well, the Lucid Motors Catalyst Tracker prepared by Stian Walgermo does just that. It basically says that if you own one share of CCIV today, it will be one share of LCID after the ticker change, and that there's some false news around this 2.6 exchange ratio, because this is basically for previous Lucid Motors shareholders, such as the employees, Peter Rawlinson, the Middle East, and others. If you read the fine print, it basically says that you'll get one share of CCIV for each of your one share of Lucid Motors prior to the merger completion. And then when the merger does complete, each one share of CCIV gets exchanged for one share of LCID. As you can see, I've used a little whiteboard to illustrate just that. If you own one share of CCIV, you'll get one share of Lucid Motors. The confusion with the 16% and where that comes in is because you currently own one share out of the 207 million CCIV shares that there are at the moment. But after completion, you'll still own one share, but you'll only own one share out of the 1.6 billion LCID shares in issue. The remaining 1.3, 1.4 billion shares here are being given to those previous owners, like the employees, Peter Rawlinson, the Saudi PIF, the PIPE investors, and some other people in there as well. So what do I actually think about the CCIV and Lucid Motors merger being set for the 23rd of July? Well, it's nice to now have a confirmed date for the merger. We were obviously hoping that it would be by the very end of June, say the 30th of June. The 23rd of July is a bit later, but it's only 3 weeks later. It's not as if it's the 23rd of July 2022, for example. I imagine after the merger does happen and that Lucid Motors get all the cash from CCIV, then fairly quickly they'll start producing those Lucid Airs and getting them out onto the road, maybe by August sometime. So how will those CCIV shares actually transfer into Lucid Motors shares? Do I need to sell my CCIV shares? Will I lose my CCIV shares? Do I need to email someone at Robinhood or Webull or Freetrade or whatever platform I'm using and ask them to transfer the shares or exchange the shares? No, it's done automatically by your stockbroker. You just log onto your platform on the 24th of July and you'll suddenly have Lucid Motors shares in your account. Guys, if you want to pick up some shares in CCIV before the merger, then be sure to check out the links down in the description below to Webull and Freetrade to get some free shares. You can currently get 2 free shares with Webull worth up to $1,850 and a free share with Freetrade worth up to £200. I think it's also really important to debunk some myths around Lucid Motors. A lot of people out there have been saying that the Lucid Air is nothing more than a computer image, just like Nikola Motors, and that the Lucid Air doesn't really exist and doesn't really work. And again, here's just one bit of evidence to back up the fact that the Lucid Air does actually exist. They've already got a large number of prototypes for the Lucid Air vehicle. As at the 14th of May 2020, they had around 40 Lucid Air prototypes. Obviously, we now know that this number's increased to around 74 vehicles, and we've seen a number of other videos showing Peter Rawlinson and other people from different media outlets actually driving the Lucid Air. I think something else that proves that Lucid Motors is actually a legit company is that the fact that they're opening showrooms and service centres. We can see from their website a number of showrooms are already open. If we look back at this tracker, we can see they've currently got 8 showrooms open, 7 of those being studios, 2 of those being service centres. I know that 7 plus 2 is 9, but I guess one of the showrooms doubles as a studio and a service centre. If they were fake and not a legit company, why would they be spending all of that money opening showrooms to show off a car that doesn't actually exist? They just take the option of not opening the showrooms, saving the additional money and running away with all the cash. I also saw this article that talks about the potential for a CCIV short squeeze. And while there is actually some potential of a short squeeze, because CCIV has a short interest of 18.83% and a days to cover ratio of 2.44, it's important to remember that a short squeeze requires a catalyst, such as a gamma squeeze. So let's explain what that actually means. A short squeeze occurs when a firm or a fund or somebody that is currently shorting the stock gets liquidated and has to cover their position. When you short a stock, you sell a stock with the intention to buy it back at a lower price. If the price goes up, you're at risk of it being liquidated and forced to cover your position and buy it back. If lots of funds get liquidated, then they have to buy back all at the same time, which drives the price higher. But obviously, a short squeeze can't occur without a catalyst to liquidate those funds or those people or those institutions and push the price higher, which is sometimes called a gamma squeeze. If there's loads of people buying into the stock price rises up naturally. More and more people will FOMO and buy into the stock, pushing the price up higher, causing the short squeeze and those funds to become liquidated. That in turn pushes the price up higher, causing more and more people to FOMO and buy into the stock, and more funds to get liquidated and continue pushing the price up, which is the short squeeze and the gamma squeeze combination. So theoretically, while CCIV could short squeeze because it has that high short interest, it needs something to set off and kind of prime the short squeeze. Maybe the release of the Lucid Air and the first few deliveries of that Lucid Air will push the stock price up and potentially cause a short squeeze. But it's not just going to happen for fun. If we have a look at the CCIV stock chart, we can see that the stock price recently broke out of this downward trend around the 20th, 21st of May. Since then, the stock ran up to around $27, $28 before pulling back. But we are still in this upward moving trend, touching the resistance line here or the support line here, here and here. Hopefully we get a nice bounce off this support and continue running up past the previous highs of $28 and through the $30 region. If we can continue pushing through the $33 and the $35 region, we could effectively enact a short squeeze. But obviously we need some kind of catalyst that causes the stock price to go up to prime for the short squeeze. As I said earlier, it doesn't just happen for fun. Maybe the stock will continue trading along this support line until the merger and the release, and then the stock will get moving again through that $35 mark and maybe even through that $40 mark. Guys, if you want to find out about news like this before I make a video, and you want to become part of my team where we talk about stocks before they blow up, then be sure to check out the link down in the description below to the Patreon and the private Discord. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.